It's hard to predict which podcaster will be successful, but it's fairly easy to see who won't be in it for the long haul just by looking at their actions, or inactions. Here are some of their bad habits for you to avoid. Hello and welcome to another Podcast Pontifications with me, Evo Terra. Look, it's no secret to any podcaster who's been in the game for any length of time that, you develop some bad habits over time. Some are just muscle memory, if you will, that comes from the act of podcasting with dozens of episodes and maybe over months or years. And not all of these habits are good. At least not if you want to really become a much better podcaster. If we look at this from the opposite direction, there are some bad podcasters out there. Podcasters with just bad shows, if you will. And they tend to accumulate some of these bad habits. Bad habits you should probably avoid. So here are 4 bad habits of bad podcasters for you to avoid. Number 1, bad podcasters don't listen to their own shows. It's kind of important to do, but you'd be surprised, or at least I am surprised, at the number of people who do not listen to their own episodes once they've been developed. Now, if you're feeling called out, I'm calling you out. Yeah, that's the reality, right? I know you've listened to that episode you've built a lot. Over the 4 hours or 40 hours you spent developing, you listened to it a lot. But I am still telling you, if you do not take your phone out with your headphones plugged in or attached via Bluetooth and walk around listening to the final completed proof episode, there's room to improve. You'll learn things from doing that. Habit number 2. Bad habit number 2. Bad podcasters don't respond to their listeners. Look, no one owes you anything. I know that you just put your blood, sweat, and tears into your episode, but no one owes you anything. So, if someone does take the time to email you, leave a comment for you, a review, or even reshare your content socially, acknowledge that person. Acknowledge in kind, if at all you can. Make that a habit to always respond to all of your outreach from clients, anything that they talk back to you about. Set up alerts if that helps you do that. At a bare minimum, keep your little notification icons zeroed or as close to 0 as you can possibly get. Don't leave your listeners who've said nice things about you hanging. Number 3, bad podcasters invest more in gear than they do content. Now, I see this all the time with newbie podcasters talking about, I just spent $3,500 on gear, but I have no idea what to talk about. As I've said, the best mic and the best equipment you can use for podcasting is the equipment you already own and know how to use properly. Because a $3,000 Neve preamp isn't going to help you during the ideation phase. Not at all. And yes, quality of audio is super important. But it's not nearly as important as being able to tell great and compelling stories on a consistent basis. Number 4, bad podcasters have production schedules that mirror their release schedules. Get ahead. Like really ahead, weeks or months, but just get ahead of your release schedule. When you aren't ahead, you're shoveling lots of jobs into the same time slot. And yes, I know Parkinson's law applies. That's the law that says work expands to fill the time allotted for it. But also, stress applies, and it is stressful to be producing content that you're releasing a day or 2 later, or an hour or 2 later, like me. So I sort of give myself a pass on this, but I probably shouldn't. It's not like I'm covering daily news or anything too terribly breaking here. So maybe I'm going to change that. Maybe I'll change that after my long winter's nap coming up in a few weeks. If it's very likely that you have one or more of these bad habits. Now, I don't think that having one or more or even all of these habits necessarily makes you a bad podcaster. It means that you, like me, share some habits with bad podcasters. And we both need to be aware of that and possibly make some adjustments. Let's do some quick thank yous.
Now it's time for the Boostagram Corner.
Boostagram Corner.
I don't know a thing about crypto.
Matt Medeiros of the podcast Matt Report, and also from Castos, the podcast hosting company, figured out how to use Twitter, their new feature, to send me some cash and a message of, I refuse to tip more until I can be tipped, Matt says. And apparently the rollout for Twitter hasn't made it as far as Twitter would have liked it to be, but I'm confident that it's coming eventually. Sorry about that, Matt. And also a quick shout out to all of you who've been sharing my Twitter threads or on my episodes. I see that quite a lot. Now, I do like to say thank you publicly, but in case I missed anyone, because sometimes they've been coming in fast and furious, I apologize. I'll try and get better with that. Thank you very much. That also is a great way to give some value back for the value you received by resharing the information. Or, if you'd like to, the best way to give value for value is by going to podcastpontifications.com/support. Lots of ways in there that you can provide some value back to the show. Even real money accepted now, too. That's it. I shall be back tomorrow with yet another Podcast Pontifications. Cheers.